Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered just how modern you really are? It might surprise you to learn that the body you see staring back at you is, in many ways, a relic from the Stone Age. For the past 70,000 years, the fundamental biological blueprint of Homo sapiens, our height, brain size, even the structure of our faces has remained remarkably unchanged. So, what happened? Why did our biological evolution seemingly hit the pause button? To find the answer, we have to travel back in time, to a moment when humanity faced its greatest existential threat. About 74,000 years ago, a supervolcano named Toba, located in modern-day Indonesia, erupted with unimaginable force. It was one of the largest volcanic events in the last 2 million years, spewing so much ash and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere that it triggered a global volcanic winter. Temperatures plummeted, sunlight was blocked for years, and ecosystems across the planet collapsed. For our ancestors, this was an apocalypse. The Toba catastrophe pushed humanity to the very brink of extinction. Genetic evidence tells a chilling story. The entire human population was reduced to a tiny group of survivors, perhaps as few as 3,000 to 10,000 individuals. This event created what scientists call a severe genetic bottleneck. Think of it like a bottle full of diverse marbles. If you shake it and only a few marbles fall out, the new collection will have far less variety than the original. That's what happened to us. Every single person alive today is a descendant of that small, resilient group that survived the Toba winter. This shared ancestry explains why, genetically speaking, humans are one of the least diverse species on the planet. This bottleneck is the first major clue in our story. After Toba, with such a limited gene pool, the engine of biological evolution, which relies on genetic variation, slowed down dramatically. But this isn't the whole picture. Something else happened right around that same time, something that would forever change the course of human history. We call it the cognitive revolution. Around 70,000 years ago, a profound shift occurred in the way our ancestors thought. We don't know exactly what triggered it, perhaps a small genetic mutation in the brain, or maybe the immense pressure of surviving the post-Toba world. Whatever the cause, the result was an explosion of creativity and intelligence. Humans began to think in symbols, develop complex languages, create art, and form intricate social structures. This new cognitive toolkit gave us an unprecedented ability to solve problems, share knowledge, and cooperate on a massive scale. Suddenly, we had a new, much faster way to adapt to our environment, culture. Instead of waiting thousands of years for our bodies to evolve, we could innovate. Feeling cold, we didn't need to wait for generations to grow thicker fur. We invented clothing and mastered fire, facing a powerful predator. We didn't need to evolve to be faster or stronger. We designed better spears and organized group hunts, struggling to digest tough foods. We didn't need our digestive systems to change. We developed cooking and other food processing techniques. This was a game changer. Cultural evolution became our primary survival strategy. We could adapt to almost any environment on Earth, from the frozen Arctic to the scorching desert, not by changing our bodies, but by changing our tools, our behaviors, and our collective knowledge. Biological evolution was simply too slow and cumbersome in comparison. Fossil records and ancient DNA studies confirm this story. They show an astonishing anatomical stability in Homo sapiens for the last 70,000 years. Our brains, which have been steadily increasing in size for millions of years, hit a plateau. Our skeletal structure has remained fundamentally the same. We are, for all intents and purposes, physically identical to the people who painted masterpieces on the walls of the Chauvet Cave 30,000 years ago. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, haven't humans evolved recently? And you'd be right, to an extent. We see minor, recent adaptations. For example, some populations developed lactose tolerance, allowing them to digest milk into adulthood. People living at high altitudes, like in Tibet, evolved more efficient ways to use oxygen. Variations in skin color are adaptations to different levels of UV radiation. And we've developed resistance to certain local diseases. But these are relatively superficial tweaks. They are minor adjustments to the chassis, not a redesign of the engine. They don't change the core biological and cognitive essence of what it means to be human, an essence that was forged in the crucible of the Toba catastrophe and refined by the cognitive revolution. This brings us to a fascinating and sometimes problematic consequence: the evolutionary mismatch. Our bodies and minds are those of Stone Age hunter-gatherers, but we live in a high-tech, digital world that is completely alien to our ancient biology. This mismatch is at the root of many modern problems. Our craving for sugar and fat, which was a survival advantage when calories were scarce, now leads to obesity and diabetes in an age of abundance. The fight-or-flight stress response, designed for short-term threats like a prowling saber-toothed cat, is now constantly triggered by work deadlines and traffic jams, leading to chronic stress and anxiety. Our brains, wired for small, tight-knit tribal communities, can feel overwhelmed by the anonymity and social pressures of modern urban life. So, what does the future hold for human evolution? Has it stopped for good? Perhaps not. We may be on the cusp of a new evolutionary chapter, one driven not by nature, but by ourselves. With technologies like CRISPR gene editing, we are gaining the ability to directly modify our own DNA. Brain-computer interfaces could merge our minds with artificial intelligence, and advanced bioengineering could enhance our physical capabilities beyond anything nature ever produced. For the first time in 4 billion years of life on Earth, a species is poised to take control of its own evolutionary destiny. Whether this leads to a brighter future or unforeseen dangers is one of the most profound questions of our time. But as we look ahead, it's crucial to remember where we came from. Every person you see, regardless of their background, shares a common heritage. We are all descendants of that small band of survivors who weathered the Toba winter. We all share the same fundamental cognitive abilities that sparked a revolution in thought and culture. In a world that often feels divided, this deep, shared history is a powerful reminder of our fundamental unity as a species. We are one people, with one story, walking into an unknown future together. Thanks for joining me on this journey through our deep past. If you found this fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss our next exploration into the big questions of science and history. See you next time.